Module Overview. Artistic style is not only a function of medium, skill, or influence, it is profoundly shaped by the context in which the artist lives, the culture they emerge from, and their personal and social identity. This module explores the deep, layered intersections between self and society, tradition and rebellion, identity and expression. Every color choice, line gesture, or thematic narrative carries encoded messages about belonging, resistance, memory, pride, trauma, spirituality, and community. In a postcolonial, globalized, and socially conscious world, the artist cannot ignore the complex web of social forces and cultural histories that shape their expression. From the subtle nuances of gender and sexuality to the powerful legacies of colonialism, migration, language, race, class, and spirituality, this module equips you to investigate how identity informs not just what they create, but how they create and why they create. This module requires deep self-reflection and critical thought. It aims to help artists explore their unique positioning within broader systems and to empower them to use their lived experiences and cultural histories as vital sources of stylistic evolution. Through case studies, critique, research, and artistic inquiry, you will come to see style not as an isolated phenomenon, but as a cultural and political language. Key themes and dimensions. 1. Art as a cultural artifact. How artworks reflect time, place, and social values, understanding style as visual anthropology, regionalism, nationalism, and indigenous aesthetics. Personal identity and self-styling. How gender, ethnicity, religion, and personal history influence aesthetic choices, exploring autobiographical elements in art identity as performance and medium. The postcolonial perspective. Reclaiming indigenous forms and aesthetics, decolonizing the canvas, rejecting imposed stylistic hierarchies, the relationship between style and political resistance. Diaspora, migration, and hybrid aesthetics. Artistic identity and transition merging visual traditions, blending of styles due to migration or multicultural heritage, the power of nostalgia, loss, and adaptation in visual language. Spirituality and symbolism. How belief systems shape color, form, and compositional logic, visual codes of sacredness, mandalas, Islamic geometry, ancestral masks, Christian iconography, syncretism, fusing traditional spiritual forms with contemporary style. Language and voice. The influence of mother tongues and written language on artistic structure, typography, calligraphy, graffiti, and indigenous scripts as stylistic markers, silence and absence as communicative devices. The politics of visibility. Who gets to be seen, represented, and exhibited style as resistance in marginalized communities, e.g. Afrofuturism, Chicana art, queer aesthetics. Art as counter-narrative, breaking stereotypes, reclaiming stories. Contextual responsibility. How understanding your cultural positioning refines authenticity, avoiding cultural erasure, exoticism, or overgeneralization, being accountable to your community through art. Critical questions for reflection. How does my style reflect where I come from? What stories am I carrying in my mark-making, symbols, and compositions? Am I honoring or obscuring my roots? Do I feel free to express all aspects of my identity through my art? Case studies. Elanatsui, Ghana. Transforming discarded materials into monumental tapestries rooted in African traditions. Yinka Shonabare, Nigeria, UK. Interrogating colonialism with Dutch wax fabric and hybrid identities. Zanele Muholi, South Africa. Queer Black identity, self-portraiture, and activism in visual form. Shirin Neshat, Iran, USA. Merging Persian calligraphy, Islamic aesthetics, and feminist narratives, Wangechi Mutu, Kenya, collaging bodies, spirits, and futures Afrofuturist, diasporic surrealism. Practical projects. Cultural mapping collage. Create a visual map of the influences from your background symbols, motifs, colors, textures. Identity timeline. Create artworks representing key stages in your personal or ancestral identity. Ritual object design. Design a symbolic object based on your spiritual or cultural worldview. Stylistic reclamation. Research a traditional visual form from your lineage and integrate it with your modern style. Exhibition concept. Write a curatorial proposal for a show that explores identity and style in your own body of work. Learning outcomes. By the end of this module, you will be able to analyze how personal identity and social context influence style, integrate cultural and autobiographical elements into visual practice, distinguish between cultural homage, appropriation, and reclamation, develop contextually rich and ethically grounded aesthetic language, use stylistic choices as vehicles for empowerment, storytelling, and truth-telling, expand stylistic range through critical awareness of positionality and belonging, build culturally resonant portfolios that speak with honesty and depth, real-world applications. Prepare artists for culturally sensitive exhibitions and global collaborations. Equip learners to critique and refine style within the ethics of representation. Empower marginalized voices to craft bold, visible artistic identities. Enhance grant and artist residency applications with deep conceptual frameworks. Cultivate a body of work that resonates across borders while remaining rooted.